Spanish has two types of prepositional phrases that when combined eliminate repetition of sound, and that is al and del. Al is a combination of the words a and el, meaning to the, masculine, and del is comprised from de and el, meaning from the or of the, masculine. Spanish combines these words to eliminate the redundant sound of the same vowel when they're said. Saying a el sounds a bit weird, so Spanish combines the words and forms the word al, and does the same thing with del because saying de el is redundant. Al and del can be used both in context when you're only using the masculine definite article el. In case you want to use the feminine definite article la, you don't have to combine the words together, so you'll simply say a la or de la. As an example, you can say a sentence like I want to go to the bathroom, and in Spanish it would be yo quiero ir a el baño, but because baño is a masculine word, Spanish has to combine the preposition to with the masculine article, so you get al. Yo quiero ir al baño. I want to go to the bathroom. If you were to instead use a feminine word like clase, you would simply say yo quiero ir a la clase without needing to combine the preposition with the article. Likewise, the same method can be used with del if you want to say from the or of the. For instance, you can say he is from the market, which would be él es del mercado, and he is from the class would simply be él es de la clase. If you want to use del as of the, it would be useful to use it in a question like what do you suppose of the market? And in Spanish, it would be ¿qué supones del mercado? And of course, the same concept applies to any sentence you want to say in Spanish, but keep in mind that whenever you say to the or of the, you simply have to combine the words so that they sound better when they're said. Al and del. Now, there are pronouns after prepositions, which are also known as prepositional pronouns, and they're put after prepositional words, such as of, on, from, to, for, with, and more. And in English, they look like this: me, you, him, her, it, us, all of you, and them. In English, there is no pattern to follow with any of these pronouns because some of them completely change while some stay the same, such as you, keeping the same form as the regular pronoun you. Contextually, you can use these prepositional pronouns and put them after prepositions, like what about me? This is on you. This is from him. Take it to her. This is for us. We go with them. And of course, you don't necessarily have to use these phrases. In Spanish, however, the same idea also works for prepositional pronouns, and actually, their syntax is a lot easier to understand in Spanish. In Spanish, you have me with an accent, ti, él or ella, nosotros, vosotros, and ellos or ellas. Just by looking at the syntax, you probably find it very strange that the he, we, y'all, and they pronouns haven't changed because when compared to their normal pronoun form, they stayed the same because Spanish decided to not change their form and keep their form as their regular pronoun form, aside from me and you. And telling the difference between pronouns and prepositional pronouns in Spanish can be done by simply looking if the word is after a preposition. You can have a simple sentence like, this is for us, and in Spanish, the phrase would be, esto es para nosotros. And as you can see, nosotros is placed after the preposition para, keeping its form and not changing. Unlike English, which uses us and completely changes the form. Whereas in Spanish, it stays the same and simpler to understand. Nonetheless, you can sometimes have sentences when you'll have the same pronoun and prepositional pronoun, like they go with them, which would be ellos van con ellos. And at first, looking at this phrase is very weird because we have the word ellos not changing form, but actually, ellos in the beginning is they, and ellos in the end is them because it's placed after the preposition with. But once again, these are just the rules of Spanish. And you can make many more examples, like life is easy for her, la vida es fácil para ella, or you can go with us, tú puedes ir con nosotros, or you can have a tricky example like this gift is from him, este regalo es de él, with the ending being de él, not to be confused with del. Like I said at the beginning of the video, del is of the or from the masculine, which uses the definite article él, but de él means from him because él doesn't change in Spanish when it's used as a prepositional pronoun. Even though it's a rare instance, you can still encounter these things when you learn Spanish. At last, there is one rule that you have to remember with the prepositional pronouns in Spanish, specifically relating to the preposition con, which is with. It's the only preposition in Spanish where if you place these prepositional pronouns after con, they will keep their form. But with me and ti, you have to combine con with the pronouns, which would be conmigo and contigo. So whenever you use prepositional pronouns with con, like do you want to go with me, you will say ¿Quieres ir conmigo? And you can reply with yes, I do want to go with you. Sí, quiero ir contigo. And in case you use the other prepositions with con, you don't have to modify them as you do with me and ti. And that's as far as pronouns after prepositions go. This has been a full explanation of al and del, along with prepositional pronouns in Spanish. Thank you for watching this video, and hopefully I made your learning just a bit simpler.